Hello, hello, my lovely human. Welcome back to Women When Fueled. Today's guest is someone whose work has transformed countless lives and created a ripple effect of healing, growth, and connection. Hannah Talbot. Hannah is the visionary behind Anam Cara Healing Center, a space where love, energy, and intention meet to create profound transformations. For many, including myself, Anam Cara has been a haven, a place to reconnect with yourself, process life's challenges, and step into the next chapter with clarity and strength. Hannah's story is one of courage, intuition, and resilience. She started a path from food service to soul service, proving that life's twists and turns are not detours, but rather divine opportunities to grow and evolve. Her ability to turn adversity into alignment is nothing short of inspiring. Before we dive in, a quick note. Women When Fueled is for entertainment and connection purposes only and is not meant to replace professional advice or your lived experience. Episodes may include light conversational cursing, which might not be suitable for little ears. Please do what you may with this information to advise your listening experience. In today's episode, Hannah shares what makes Anam Cara such a powerful space for healing and connection, how life's challenges can be your greatest teachers, why trusting the process is essential in your journey of growth, how to co-create with the universe and let go of the need to control every outcome, and the life-changing power of letting joy guide your decisions. This episode is filled with heart, hope, and actionable wisdom. Whether you're in the middle of your own transformation or seeking inspiration to take the next step, Hannah's insights will leave you feeling uplifted and empowered. Let's dive in. Welcome to Women When Fueled.
I'm constantly looking outside of myself for something to comfort and tell me that I'm okay and that I've done enough, right? And like, oh, that's the answer. Oh, that's the thing.
Right.
Oh, I just need this one more
works for 10
thing.
other people that I know, so obviously it's going to work for my brain.
Me. And today, actually, I'm getting ready in my mind to teach the manifest class. And what I want to bring up today around goal setting is the idea of quality over quantity, and that we are, that it's like, okay, so that looking outside of ourselves is one part ADHD.
Yeah.
So we know that, and we know, okay, I can tend to that.
I've
but
got
then
a
I
spicy
think
brain,
that there's
however.
the bigger part, and maybe this isn't true for you, but it's true for me.
Yeah.
That the looking outside of myself is also a way of protecting myself. Because that's how I stay safe, is to be hyper fixated on everything around me, outside of me, instead of just sitting with me and what's in me. And obviously that's the entire reason I created Anam Cara is to figure out how to unlock that. And I think I do more and more every day, but I'm really trying to catch myself right now going, you don't need another coaching program. You don't need another planner or a new pen or a new system or a new chart. You actually need to cut more of the noise out and like have quality with what you do have, right? So it's like, don't have 10 planners, have one planner.
One spot.
right? Yeah. Like we don't need 12 charts, just do the one thing,
Do it really well.
And just put your effort towards it.
Yeah.
Like I think about how often our time and everything is getting divided up when we are working towards something. Like most of the time we're multitasking on 12 different things at once. And so it's like, what if I just cut out some of the noise? And so that's why me leaving my phone accidentally at home is like, just
Like, wait a minute.
Wait, this is the best because as I said, was driving and preparing for that class in my mind and thinking about quality and thinking about, well, how do I need to cut out the noise in my own life? Number one, stop looking outside of myself for things. But even I think the way I'm using my phone is a way of looking outside of myself.
I look for distraction.
Oh, I'm needed somewhere.
I need to be doing. Yeah,
That's right.
Someone else needs me.
Oh, if I just get
I don't
these
need
texts done, then I can then I can work on my module for the coaching program, right? But
fill in the blank.
Right, anything, the other thing that you need to be doing, or to give that like full attention to what you say you want to do, right? You know, like I really want to work on this podcast. Well, okay, I could have brought my phone here and like had the text going and like my brain energetically might have been not fully here. Yeah. So I'm excited because
go us.
Go us. I know. And I was already thinking that I want to do like a digital detox next month. Like, and really thinking about how Tara and I work together. Tara, our operations assistant at Anam Cara, the most amazing ever.
Well,
we love her so much.
can you also just like,
oh, do you want me to like say who I am?
Well, you don't need to say who you are. I'll introduce who you are and all of that. But I don't think there's been an episode that I've recorded yet where Anam Cara and you have not come up.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so fun. I love all the people that you love.
To know you and for everyone. It's such an honor to know you.
Oh my gosh.
And you have created this beautiful container, and I know that the journey to get here has been this burden of love. And maybe
that's accurate.
I was like, we could say burden. I don't necessarily, she's not a burden, but
I think sometimes I treated her like that though, as if it was like, I have to do this.
Right. But
instead of
the end was not even the end result, because you are continuing to soar. But this state you're in right now took so much love and intention. She took so much, frankly, sacrifice and willingness to just bet it all on you. And it is such an honor to know you. It is such an honor that you've taken the time to be here. And I would love for you just to tell me, for people who are listening, what is Anam Cara? Because they're about to hear about 30 people talk about it, myself included. And I'll introduce you in the way I want to introduce you. You don't have to be like, hi, I'm Hannah. My favorite color is purple. But
it's magenta.
It's magenta. I was like, I know I'm close. I was adjacent. But I do want for you to share the love and light that is Anam Cara to you, and what energy work is, because there are so many women who are yet, they crave something, but they haven't found it yet. Yeah. And the mic is yours.
Alexis, I adore you. Thank you so much for those words and your love and your appreciation and being on this journey with me. I feel like, you came into my life and to Anam Cara fairly early on, within that first year. And it's just been an absolute joy to do this work with you and to see you just step into your own light and essence and truth, and to continue to just keep on doing it. This podcast is such an expression of that, and I hope that everyone listening feels how deep you love. If you've ever got a hug from Alexis, it's the best thing on earth. So thank you for having me, and thank you for anyone who talks about Anam Cara, whoever you are. I love you, because
everyone loves Anam Cara.
It's not a burden in any way, shape, or form, but it has taken a lot of sacrifice. Absolutely. And I think that this thing wanted to be birthed from me way, way, way long ago. Like, I had a vision of like some sort of like place where I could help people. And I envisioned it like literally in the woods. And I was like, we can help homeless people. We can help, victims of sexual assault. And, this was in my early 20s when I was in that work, helping women in domestic violence and sexual assault. And I was moving from Montana to Seattle. And I had never lived in a city, and I'd never experienced homelessness. And I was like, what's happening? I just was I mean, and so I was like, I have to do something. And in my mind, I like had this dream of this like center that would help people. I was like, where am I going to get the money from that?
Right.
Maybe I should call Oprah.
We should call Oprah.
I still might call Oprah.
Always call Oprah.
A little infusion from Oprah, please.
Yes.
Anyway, so like, I really do think that was a spark of this dream way, way back. I think that I am programmed to help. I'm programmed to connect people. I think that's maybe why you hear about Anam Cara from other people, because it is a place to connect people and to support people. And so if they're talking about it, it's probably because they felt that in some way. And so, cut to many years later and kind of, my 20s, I needed this. I needed it bad, and I didn't have it, and I didn't have anything like it. And so what I did instead was I had fun, and I played, I partied, I danced, I had all kinds of good times. But I also was, self-medicating with like drugs and alcohol, and not really doing the work, and kind of like making not really doing the work. I wasn't doing any work on myself except for,
Let's be honest.
Let's be real. And there wasn't, that wasn't the culture around me. Right. And I don't, so, and like, just so much has changed in 10 years and 20 years. Right. Yeah. So what I needed, 15 years ago, I don't know that it existed, anything like this. And so, after I had my kiddo and all of that, I was really getting to a desperate place of like, I am burnt out. I don't feel myself. I don't feel like I'm happy in my life. Like I have all the things I wanted.
Right.
I have like, okay, picture wise, we've got it. I've got the kid. I've got the house. I've got the husband. I've got the job. And I'm still feeling empty and burnt out and disconnected, and from myself, from everything. And so, I found yoga, and that led to meditation and mindfulness, and then that led to energy work, and that's when I really felt at home. But somewhere along that line, I decided to open a yoga studio, and I woke up in the middle of the night with like visions of how people would experience it and how it would be different, and all of the mission statement and the vision of what I wanted that space to feel like exists in Anam Cara. We just only do yoga once a week. Yeah. And so I always say, like, when we want something, when you have a dream to do something, or there was like that spark 20 years ago, I wasn't ready then, right? And so sometimes we feel that spark, and then it's like, oh, but I couldn't have that, or that's not possible. Instead of like just letting that there be space for that light, right? And so the other thing that's great about that is that then when you have space for that light, it can change and redirect you and take you into different places. And that's what happened with Anam Cara. So I built what I craved, what I wanted, which was a place to study energy work, to study mindfulness, to have a coach to like hold my hand, because I was trying to do the apps and like the 21-day challenge of, meditate for 21 minutes with Deepak. And like, I just couldn't do it, and so I was like, there's got to be a teacher. There's got to be a community. And I wasn't finding anything that felt like home to me. And that's a whole funny story of like places that I tried out that we joke that I almost joined a cult. Yeah. Almost. I was so close. My husband pulled me back. Like, almost had my red sweater on. Oh, no. But I was searching for community. And so Anam Cara was what I was looking for when I became a practitioner of this work. Like when I started doing Reiki and teaching workshops, and I was like, I want a place. So I was doing these mobile workshops and doing events and blessings for people, ceremonies around all of their life's occasions. And I actually started that business originally with a girlfriend, and we kept it together for about 6 months. And then I was like, I'm taking this baby on the road, girl. Like, and she was off doing other things and singing and all kinds of, we just went separate ways and still friends, but it became something totally different. The whole time though was working to have a space. Like I always wanted a space. There was never, if you go back and listen to any of my girlfriends, or like if any of my girlfriends like reflect on our memories, like we have bar napkins of me like doing iterations of names. It's always been for a space. And so there has been this feeling for literally almost 8 years of like force, like kind of a push, like I have to do this. It's got to happen. How will it happen? When can it happen? Is it tomorrow? How am I going to get the money? Right? Like when it, like I joke that it was like Field of Dreams. Like I have to do this. And I am so this year done with that force feeling and just leaning into the ease and the beauty of the creation and letting it flourish and grow and take me in directions that I can't imagine yet, right?
How
like
liberating.
Oh, I'm ready for it, sis. I am ready for it this year.
Excited for you.
My word this year is lush.
Lush. Ooh, I got chills. I love her.
Yeah. But so at Anam Cara, what we do is we are a mindfulness center, a healing center. We offer daily mindfulness classes. They're 30 minutes. In the morning, we have just redesigned our whole schedule. It's so beautiful. I'm so excited about it. In the morning at 7 a.m., we have mindful start classes. And this is a variety of classes from several different teachers. They're interactive, so it's a little bit of coaching. Often they might prompt you to do some journaling, maybe even a little bit of gentle movement, nothing that you have to like wear special outfits for or anything. Or have equipment, but just like be in your body. We can talk about what somatic means. They're, somatic often based classes. And some meditation usually as well. And then at noon, we have these classes that are called Life Design, and they have different themes. Like right now we're doing a manifest challenge, and really that's all around goal setting and habit change and trying to, and because you've done it, like, yes, right? This is our wheelhouse, sister. So, and people have over the last year and a half that we've been teaching that class, maybe, I think about a year and a half.
It's like at least, right? Or
I
you
think
kind of
it might
taught
be
an
2
iteration
years.
of it before
Yes.
you called her Manifest.
Yes.
Before she was officially Manifest.
Yep. So it's so amazing to see what people create, from new jobs, completely creating their own careers and coaching programs, to seeing people finding relationships. To one of my favorite things is when I see people create like a practice of self-love for themselves, to see people like truly in love with themselves through that class is awesome. But the next that we're going to do, I think, is Solve for Happiness will be the theme.
Interesting.
Yep. There's a book called Solve for Happiness by Mo Goddard, I think is his name. Going to be amazing. We're going to do an essentialism class, a digital detox, and then there's workshops as well. And all of that is included in membership. Then we have extra events to kind of go deeper. So that could be things like Moon Circle, where we met at Moon Circle. And we do it every month. That's a women's circle. Absolutely beautiful event that we've done it every single month now. It'll be 36 months in February. Yeah. So lots of deep dive workshops to just that, go deeper into the work, and then we have lots of trainings as well. So somatic training, which you have done. We do Reiki training. We have the rooms for practitioners to do one-on-one coaching and different somatic energy work. We have like Becky from Spokane Stretch is in there. So there's an apothecary, we have a beautiful space, a little kitchen for people to come in and grab a cup of tea. And the idea is, come a few minutes early and have some tea and be in community, talk to your teacher. But if you can't come in person, all of our classes are taught virtually as well. And so you can log in from anywhere, including your car.
Yes.
Anywhere you need, a
parking
closet, anywhere you need, you can log in. And then if you can't make it live, then we have the app as well, which has all of our classes on demand. And so there's hundreds of classes. There's a whole bunch of series for you to go deeper. So I mean, to me, like this, that's why I'm just sitting back because I'm like, damn, this is everything that I wanted and needed. And what makes it different than an app, why this is different than, I have meditation apps too, and I use them and I love them.
Yes.
That is it. And that's like, it's one tool in my mindfulness belt. But what Anam Cara offers is community, connection and to be witnessed. Like it is very different to meditate, to start a mindfulness practice and meditate and do that for 10 minutes and then be able to reflect back to your teacher. That was difficult. I felt really antsy. And then they can give you a tool or a tip, or they could at least just say like, yeah, that makes sense. Like me too. I was really busy in my brain too. Like it's just such a different experience than meditating on your own, which is beautiful. And that practice is incredible. Right. But community, I think right now we need it more than ever in our world. I think that we know that we have a loneliness epidemic going on. We know that these phones that are seemingly supposed to give us connection have actually just created this system for us to compare and not just each other, but ourselves, right. And we just, that not enoughness, I feel like is just seeping out of these phones, and we're just taking it in hours at a time, at a day, or hours on end, right?
It never ends.
It never ends. I was sharing with Lex that I looked at my screen time just recently and was like, what? And so the phone, I left my phone at home, and I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just there to support. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it.
As you should be. But there's this, I think I mentioned in one of our other conversations about how, yes, the community and the connection, but to hold and to be held in your magic and your mess.
Yep.
Is such a great gift.
Beautiful way.
That I was given and I was able to give, not only through the daily meditation classes, but through all of the trainings. Yeah. And I feel like I'm finally getting to a place where I can actually surrender. Like I thought I was surrendered. I thought I had broken plenty. Like I feel so much. And I had. Yeah. However, there was this other foundational demo day that needed to occur. And I needed to press an emergency reset button that I didn't realize I was on the verge of a mental breakdown until I was in it.
Yep.
And having the tools that I was gifted by you made what should have been a much darker time a little lighter.
Yeah. And really that's the point, right? Is that, we do the practices whenever we can, so that when life does come in and rock you, you do have something to anchor you back, right? And it's kind of like, here's an oar, like you're not out to sea by yourself. And, we all go through those moments when it's hard and it's heavy and, you don't want to do that thing like journaling or taking the bath or washing your face or talking to a friend about what's really going on, or, we don't want to care for ourselves. Sometimes we're in it. But gosh, just doing that, like having a whole host of things that that work, and then being like, what if I just did this one thing? Like gives you that permission to do the next one thing and the next one thing. And then before you know it, maybe you're a little closer to shore than you thought, So yeah, I'm so proud of you, Lex. You're amazing. We just have a little
a happy party.
Yes, exactly. We'll just compliment each other party. For the entire podcast.
That should be a whole event in itself. A we're great party.
Heck yeah. I feel like women are though kind of claiming that, we're done not telling each other that we're beautiful, that we like each other's shoes, that
see something, say something.
That's right. We're done with that jealousy, comparison. Like, I think that so many women are ready to just like really unite and sing each other's praises. So I'm here for it.
Same. I love it. And where I was initially, it's like we branched off for a second, but where my brain was trying to go before was that I've mentioned to you that the first times I was in Anam Cara, I didn't know what you looked like. I didn't know who the owner was. And the first event, like the bigger event that I went to, I still didn't know your face. And the space, even at that point, that you had cultivated and the greatness that you supported and all of the women in this room that I was walking into made it so that everyone's greatness was shining, but not at the expense of anyone else's. And this, while this was a labor of love from you, it was never about you. And it can be so easy for so many thought leaders to make it about them and how great they are. And I just honor and appreciate and admire that in you, that I hope someday to be able to emulate that kind of energy where you are supporting people's greatness and you are holding space without taking their light and holding your own. And it's just,
Thank you.
I just so admire you.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
Thankful for all that you've done.
I was lucky to, well, like I said, I just think it's part of my wiring is, I mean, I love human design. So if you get into human design, you know, you might see what you're programmed for. I am programmed for leadership. And I think you can do that in a lot of different ways. And I think that to me, you know, I've been so lucky to be in management since I was like 15 and, you know, was a director of operations for a team of, you know, over 100 plus employees at 3 different restaurants and tons of different managers all at one time. And so that was always really important to me, that people felt like every job in the house was equally important. And it is, you know, if the dishwasher doesn't show up, your night sucks. You know, like you need them. They're so vital. Right. And, all the way to the top. And in fact, those people are more important than the manager on the floor. Like that, like you're actually the least important person in the room.
If you've done your job right.
If you've done your job right, you know, so that's how I think some of that foundation comes through of like, I'm not here to shine the spotlight on myself. Sure, it's fun to step into it from time to time, but I really want all of us to shine. And that is what Anam Cara is, a collective for whether you are coming in to receive or you want to be a teacher, you know, and you have gifts that you want to share. We have lots of different practitioners. I have never wanted it to be just about me. There are lots of different ways that we can do this work. And so somebody might say something in a different way on a different day, and it's going to land for somebody else that I can't say, you know, like you and your energy attracts a completely different vibration of person, maybe not completely, but because it's me and you, but you know, like you have a whole different circle of people that need to hear your message through your like lens, your filter. And so more of that, please. You know, like more of that. And really, that's that event that you came to, Moon Circle. It is so special. Every night or every event, we always have people share their name at some point. At the very least, that's all they have to say. But I want there to be a moment in the night where we hear every woman's voice, their unique cadence, and that they speak their name into the room because they matter and they're important. And you get to come to Anam Cara, like you said, I love that, in your mess and your magic. That is so beautiful because that's life.
It's like, I think Steph coined that. I might have grabbed it from Steph, which isn't surprising.
Not surprising at all.
She's been interviewed for this too.
Yes,
so it's okay.
our little magical
like that might
unicorn.
Have been from Steph. I'm trying to remember. We probably, we
I love her so
it.
much.
Yes, she is a magical unicorn.
Yeah, but truly, I mean, like Stephanie is one of the teachers. There's every single person who has offered something at Anam Cara is, I just think, incredible. And there's so many people in our community, you know, who are doing things that maybe aren't happening at Anam Cara. Like, I feel like it's just what a powerful time to see people stepping into this work in so many different ways, in so many different spaces. It's exciting.
Woohoo. And you touched slightly on it, but I do want to hear more about because we know where you are now, but I want to hear more about your journey from food service to soul service.
Yeah.
So from that first coffee shop opportunity and the idea that every piece of that puzzle needed to happen in order to get you here, whether it felt low or it felt high.
Yeah. You know, I guess what I think of first of that kind of like, you know, from like the food industry to the soul, what did you say? The soul
I
food
wrote
work
from food service to soul service.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So I actually think they're the same. Especially with, you know, like if you put soul into, I mean, soul food is the best, right? So though I don't think that I always viewed it that way, right? That like this was soul work. You know, I was like, oh, this is just makes, you know, I serve tables because it makes me a lot of quick cash, baby. Right? Yeah. So, and actually my first coach that I ever worked with when I had decided I wanted to leave the restaurant industry and open this yoga studio, right? And it was, you know, so I was starting at the very beginning and it was like, how the heck am I going to get all the way to there, right? And so this coach that I worked with was like, look, we need to come up with a mission, like a purpose for you. And we're gonna frame it around one sentence, and it's sort of like your mission, your purpose, your wish for yourself, but also the world. And your whatever you do, whether you open this yoga studio or not, or you stay in, you know, hospitality, or you decide to go into HR, or whatever you do, this should be the guiding, like
your manifesto.
Yeah. Yep. And so I was like, well, gosh, like what have I been doing for people? What do I want people to feel? You know, what could my business be? And I ended up coming up with the words, may you be nourished and ignited. And so because it's like food nourishes you, right? And when you bring somebody a plate of food, like there's a incredible exchange that's happening. And it's a big honor to like, this is going to go in your mouth.
And there's
like
trust.
So intimate, right?
Yeah.
So I think, and that's like, I'll tell you, like, that's how I got good at what I do is working in the restaurant industry because I would see hundreds of people a day.
Yeah.
And so you are dealing with lots of different personalities, lots of different needs and requests and energy. And so I think I perfected a lot of the skills that I have now through the restaurant industry. But yeah, I think that's why I was good at that job because it's just people, right? And I'm good at people. And so that's why no matter what job I did, I was always asked to be a manager.
Totally.
It's like, and sometimes I said yes, sometimes I said no, because I always say, I'm like, you make more money in restaurant industries and not being a manager. This is my PSA for everyone.
Get those tips.
Be the bartender. So I managed a coffee shop in high school. And my mom passed when I was 19, not quite. I was 18, just about turned 19. And I had moved from Livingston, Montana, a little tiny town. It's beautiful, to Missoula, Montana, not too far from here. Yeah, to the big city, baby.
The big city of Montana.
I wanted to go to Seattle, and that was my compromise with the boyfriend that I had at the time. So anyway, and I was kicking it over in Missoula, and I was kind of like starting my own thing. I was actually trying to like do like baking for like little parties and things on the side, and I like had little flyers up at coffee shops, like I'll bake a coffee cake for you. Anyway, they called me. The owners of that coffee shop called me and said, "Hey, we want to sell it, and we would like you to buy it." And so my dad and I purchased it together, 50-50, and you know, went in on a bank loan together, and I ran it. And so I would wake up every morning at like 4:00 and bake. Oof. And then go to college. And I was just kind of doing my thing. But I loved it. And so, like, that's a perfect example of soul work. Every single day, people are starting their morning with you. And especially in a small town, but any town, you have your regulars. Any coffee shop has the regulars that you see again and again, and you know their life. You know what's going on. You know when they're having a bad day. And a lot of what I did was like counseling people. Yeah. I mean, that's why people would sit at my bar top for hours, because I'd be like, what's going on, Chuck? What's going down today? You know? And a lot of salt of the earth kind of people, you know, farmers, a lot of construction people, a lot of hunters, a lot of, you know, Montana, baby. A lot of Montana. Yeah. So anyway, I think that, like I said, it just, and my family has taught me, like, they're all very people too. So anyway, yeah, entrepreneurship started really young, but that didn't end in a way that I would call a success, right? Like, my dad and I had a big falling out. I ended up walking away from that, selling the business and leaving with debt. And to me, I had no skills, and no one was telling me what to do with money or what to do with credit or how to manage anything. And that to me was crushing. To me, that was like, I have failed. And like, I mean, that stuck with me for years, And I was like, I'll never put myself at risk again. I will never open a business again, because that's too much risk. Like, that's a big hurt. It's a big one. So that's probably part of the flailing in the 20s. You know, it's just like, okay, you know, I had that coffee shop for a couple years and sold it around, I think it was like 22, 23, something like that. And yeah, I definitely had this urge to help people, but also I just needed help myself, you know, and I really wasn't getting it in any sort of a deep way, you know, like, I love to party with my friends because that's when we would like talk about stuff and we'd share about our lives, you know, it was in the like late nights. So, yeah, but then I got into management and, you know, grew with that business from one restaurant, and then opened their second one with them. And then they helped them open a third, and they could feel me starting to kind of pull away. And so they created a little princess position for me, but it was needed. It was, you know, so I became the director of operations for all of them, and was sort of the go between, you know, the managers and the owners. And it was an amazing job. And I think I got paid to go to school. You know, I learned so much. I learned how to negotiate leases. I learned how to, like, you know, ask for tenant improvement. So I love talking with people about business. It's one of my favorite things. I love developing business. I love trying to understand how to, you know, take something that's not working and like create a new system around it. I love helping teams like find their flow and connection. I love teaching people how to be leaders. So literally I got paid to go to school because now I teach corporate teams that, you know, I go into corporate spaces and teach them about burnout. Because I experienced it myself, you know, so I ended up kind of just, you know, running 3 restaurants and just not having any tools. I burnt my little self out. So I take all of that, you know, it's like that, all of these things that I could have seen as failures, which at the moment, like I said, I did see that business as a failure. I could have seen being, you know, in managing restaurants, like there was this part of me who was like, gosh, I've got to get out of restaurants. Like, this is not what I wanted to do. How am I still doing this in my 30s? And I look at all of it now and I'm like, that made me who I am. In that book, Solve for Happiness, he, you know, I don't want to ruin the story, but he had a major loss, right, that shook him to his core, as many of us do, right? Life rocks you. And it's like those moments that we think are going to break us and that we think we cannot get through are the moments that make us, right? And if he talks about, if you were given the choice to erase that event, to take back that loss, you know, would you? And 99% of people say no, because they understand that it made them who they are. You know, if I brought my mom back, I wouldn't have all of these other experiences. I wouldn't be who I am. You know, if he brought the person back that he lost, he wouldn't have helped 15 million plus people solve for happiness. You know, and so just gives me the goosey bumps, because we think all these things that are failures or bad or
to me.
Yes,
to me.
Yes, it's happening for you.
That's right. It did happen for you. I swear.
Yes.
It's actually one of the things. It's like everything's happening for you. Is what I noted under that.
Yep.
And a big part of your journey, and so many of the journeys that I've been honored to host here, are answering the call of your potential. And when you do see it clearly, or you feel the feelings so vividly, maybe you didn't see that it was going to be Anam Cara as it stands today, but it was a yoga studio, it was this, it was that, and it had so many iterations. And I'm only just learning to hold a little more loosely to the specifics and actually learn what surrender looks like. And like, this is how I want to feel, this is how I want to help. Everything else is up to source. And advice on that.
Yeah, well, I think, again, that is just a part of us that needs to be loved. It's part of your protector, right? If we can just know everything, have all of the you know, scary possibilities thought out and figured out, and if I just stick to the plan, I'll be okay, right? We want to know what's going to happen. We want to know that we're going to be okay. I think that's, at the end of the day, what that is, right? That like need to know how this is going to go. And of course, right, we it's scary to take risk. It's scary to do something that maybe you've never done before. Yesterday, or I guess it was 2 days ago, one of our amazing teachers, Mike, from all these branches, was saying, you know, there's a difference between being uncomfortable and unsafe, right? So when we're pushing ourselves and doing something different, you know, being a little uncomfortable is okay, but that feels unnerving, right? We want to feel ease, you know, we want like the brain and the body wants things to be as easy as possible, right? And so I guess what I think and what I know is that need to control is just a part of us that is wanting to keep us safe. And so if you can just literally turn to that part of you internally and say, I see you. Of course you're here. This makes total sense that you want to know how this is going to go, because we're about to do something scary. You want to know that your feet are going to land, right? And so I hear you. I know you're scared, and I got you, you know, and we're just going to take one step at a time. And it's actually like, if you knew, that's another, like, you know, if you had the opportunity to know how it was all going to go, no one is taking that. How boring, you know, like, so if we can lean into that, the things that we can't imagine or figure out or plan for, like, that's the beauty, you know? And so invite it in, welcome it in. Like, my motto this year is, can this be easy? Can this be fun? Am I enjoying this? Like, and if I'm not, you know, and it's not like every single moment of life is going to feel delicious, right? But like, what I'm saying is, like, when I'm doing my emails, when I'm doing the slide deck, and I'm stressed and like, it's got to be perfect and it's not enough, and I'm behind, and what's going to happen? Like, that has a pheromone to it, like, like literally, versus this is fun. Right. I'm okay. I'm not sure where this is going to lead, but it's going to be neat. What if it all works out? You know, like that, like, it's such, just bringing some lightness, because there is so much heavy and hard in the world. You know, you are going to have to deal with things that are not easy, no matter how you slice it. But if you can invite enjoyment in when and wherever possible, it is going to make everything flow easier. And then we don't have to be so scared that it's not going to work out. And in that book, that Solve for Happiness, you know, he talks about like, listen, you're listening to this podcast right now. You and I are in here recording this podcast. Right. So more than likely, it's not that bad. We're safe.
It's going to be okay.
We're okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're not running from the tiger. So stop doing that to your brain and your body. Like, and it's like this, I think just that idea of like, what if it's totally different than this? What if it is totally different than this? We also get so attached to the outcome because of what it says about us. So if I open up Anam Cara and it fails, what does that say about me? That kept me real scared for the
like what will others think?
Good first 2.5 years of like, if I fail, what have I done to my family? Right? This investment was for nothing because I invested. I went all in.
Everything.
Right? You know, like
bet on red.
That's right, baby. Like, what if I lose?
Yeah.
And it's like it's got to still be okay. Because it is, you know, like I'm even if I lost Anam Cara, I can do something else.
Right.
You know, like something else. Like,
have all these skills.
That's right. Like we're okay, baby. And so when you are creating, you know, it's like maybe we can say, what's the best thing that can happen here?
I found that even when I do, though, play what's the worst thing, I find out that the worst thing isn't actually that scary.
I think it's totally fine to look at.
Actually break it down.
That's right. To look at what you're scared of.
Oh, okay. So now what's the best thing that could happen?
Yeah.
And knowing that my slip into descent and into squander into the fires of hell, like really isn't, I might slip into some mud.
Yeah.
Like I might, but I'm still in a first world country with freedom and the ability to get my, like, and a supportive family.
And that's where it's like, I might be uncomfortable, but I'm probably going to be safe.
Like I might have a little wound to live for myself for a second, but it's going to be okay.
That's right. And maybe it's a couple years, right? I don't, you know, but it's like, do you want to live your life not having to attempted to go for what you want? Do you want to live your life in regret? Do you want to live your life thinking, I wish I would have done that? Do you want to live your life looking at other people's freaking Instagrams going, that looks awesome. That looks fun. I wish I was doing that. No, go enjoy your life and do what you want to do. I mean, last night we're having a conversation with my son and my husband and I, and you know, my husband we joke that he's the normie, right? And I'm like over here, woohoo. So anyway, we're talking about my son is taking guitar lessons, and I'm encouraging him to go all in on these guitar lessons. You know, if we're taking them, let's go all in. And my husband was kind of like, yeah, but like have fun and like it's not a big deal and like whatever the ask. And I'm like, no, yeah, that too, absolutely. But like you can choose anything that you want to do or be. And if you like music, and I know that I'm not saying play the guitar so that you can be Eddie Vedder. That might be part of the aspect, but like there's so much in music that you could get involved in.
So many dreams you could have.
You could be a music producer. You could be an audio engineer. You could be somebody who plays like guitar for like background. Like you don't, there's so, you could make a
career out of it if you want. You can get paid to do what you love if you want.
And so what I was telling him was like, play the guitar as if you're going to do this for a living. You know, like this is your job. This is the activity that you're picking. You love guitar. You love music. You're obsessed with it. So like go all in. And my husband was kind of like, he's a little bit more practical. And he was kind of like, well, like he was saying like, yeah, well, I would have liked to have been a snowboarder, a professional snowboarder and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, no offense, my love, but if you would have went all in the way Travis Rice went all in, you could have.
If you had been told.
And he was like, well, I couldn't have been Travis Rice. And I said, well, maybe not, but you might have worked in the professional snowboarding industry. And he was like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, right, you get to choose the life that you want to live. And so just have fun.
Create it.
Have fun
creating it.
Yeah.
It can be a joyful experience. It doesn't have to be a scary, like, what if I was great?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be scary.
Right. And I think that's the other thing that holds us back too. If I'm not the greatest, if I'm not Travis Rice, then I don't want to do it. And I think that's part of why he was like, well, I can't be a professional, so I better just go get the 9-to-5 job. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing either.
We have a similar experience in our home where I'm this like big dreamer and like, let's build a castle on a cloud.
Yes.
And he's like, well, cloud real estate really isn't that great right now. And well, the pitfalls of cloud real estate.
Right.
And I'm like, but dream.
And also, I always say, like, I am so grateful for my husband's practicality. Because it does bring balance to us.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. I often use the expression like, it's best to dream with your feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. When we are just way up in the clouds, like you said, cloud real estate.
Dreamers, if you had two people untethered,
yes, it can get a little
wild. Your house is gonna blow up.
Yeah, a little wild.
Your house is gonna fall through your cloud. So
yes.
I certainly have learned to appreciate his practicality and everything too, but there's this balance to be found and parenting with a practical person when you are a big dreamer, or the other way around is it's like, I tend to lean toward, wow, if you really truly love this for you, not for me, you could take it anywhere you want to go. Yep. And with the guitar or with snowboarding, and Julian had a similar, like with the drums or whatever it was. It's just, it doesn't have to be a scary experience. It doesn't have to give you anxiety to dream big.
That's right. Yeah.
Your big dreams want to be born.
They want to be.
They want to be.
Oh, I love it so much, Lex.
Did you ever watch Juno?
The movie, yes, many times.
Where she's like standing out there with her little sign. She's like, "All babies want to be born." Oh. And I think of that with your dreams. Like, your dreams want to be born.
They just want to be born.
They just want to be born.
I love it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Kim, I'm just saying, I'm
Perfect.
giving us a 5-minute.
Perfect.
Because I ended up, this is our first week of the manifestation challenge, and so
Yay.
I'm teaching at noon.
Perfect. I'm like,
can I have one
too? Yes, please. No, you cannot cough.
Oh my gosh, I was holding that one in for a while.
How dare you?
I didn't want to do it in the middle of a good combo.
How dare you take space? What fuels you? That's my final question.
Right now, I am really trying to let joy and ease fuel me. I think it's really easy to be fueled by money, by external things, and I want to be enjoying my life. Like last night, we stayed up way too late, but it was my husband and son, and they were setting up his record player, and so they were playing all these records, and I was like having my own little dance party, and then we all came together and started like slam dancing to Modest Mouse, the way that like my husband and I did 25 years ago. And we've been together for over 20 years. And so like, and then to see my husband look at me with like a remembrance and like, oh, like, and my son was like dancing and watching my husband watch me. It was a core memory moment. Yeah. So I want to have time like that. That's what's important, is to just enjoy the little moments. And so it's like when you're doing the dishes, like, can it be fun? Mm-hmm. Could it just, like, does it have to suck? Like, I just want to do as much of life this year with that ease. And so that is what I'm putting in my tank this year, baby.
I love that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Heck yeah. Anytime. This is incredible. I'm so proud of you.
Cheers,
this is so exciting. Heck yeah. What's your word for the year? Have you decided yet?
Bloom.
Yes, baby.
And my animal's a badger.
Ooh,
She's
tell me
very
why.
Interesting. I pulled her from I was
Grounded.
gifted the animal deck that
Yes.
I love at Anam Cara.
Yes.
And I asked for it for Christmas last year.
Yay.
And the timing is not up to you.
Yeah.
The more like viciously you hold on to something, the less likely it is to come to you. And if you were just to let go and hang out in your den and sit in your field of flowers, like, it'll come.
And that card, doesn't that badger have like a flower crown?
Oh, she's stunning.
Yes.
She's so
Yeah.
cute, and I want to snuggle her.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the vibe
ease that we're
Just
talking
bloom.
about.
Just
That's
let
right.
it be okay.
That's right. You know, flower doesn't force itself open. And you've if you've ever tried to open,
Oh my
force
gosh.
one, it doesn't work.
I have a Monstera leaf right now that just like, I want her to open so bad. And I'm just sitting there looking at her every morning. I'm like, I'm not going to touch you,
No.
but you want to open, clearly.
Yep. We just let it all
Let her
happen in
bloom.
its own time.
It's going to be okay.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lex. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into this powerful conversation with Hannah Talbot. Her wisdom and authenticity are a reminder that even life's hardest moments can be stepping stones toward your greatest evolution. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love if you could subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who would find it meaningful. Your support helps us bring these transformative stories to even more incredible women like you. Stay connected with Women When Fueled wherever you get your podcasts. For more tools, inspiration, and resources, visit itslexbutler.com, where you'll find ways to fuel your mind, body, and spirit. As you reflect on today's episode, remember this: your journey, no matter how unexpected or challenging, is leading you exactly where you're meant to be. Trust the process, embrace the lessons, and let joy be your compass. Thank you for being here, for fueling this community with your energy, and for choosing to step into your next chapter with intention. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and let joy guide you. Bye, guys.